there really anyone that didn't see that one coming?
All jokes aside, yes, Russell Brand has been charged with rape. So let's just break down what we know. Okay, so where I say, look, is anyone really surprised? Russell Brand's behaviour since being in the spotlight has never really been deemed appropriate. You know, he's always been a little bit different. I wasn't surprised. So in September of 23, the Metropolitan Police started to open an investigation into Brand after multiple tips and accusations from people that he had inappropriately assaulted women. So his actual charges are rape, indecent assault, oral rape, and 2 counts of sexual assault. First court appearance is set for May 2nd. From what I can gather, he's currently in the US. There's an extradition process been started. I don't know how that's going to go. I will go through just where these have come from. So what they're saying is charges stem from a series of alleged incidents in the late 1990s and early 2000s. A rape in 1999, an incident of assault in 2001, an oral rape and a sexual assault in 2004, and another sexual assault between 2004 and 2005. So these are supposedly said to have taken place in the UK, which for those of you that don't know, Russell Brand is English. Russell did take to Instagram to defend himself. I'm not going to read the whole thing. He does talk about the law being used as a weapon against him. He talks about how he's been very open, that he wasn't a great man before he met his wife, that he was a sex addict, that he was a drug addict, that he was an alcoholic, and he referred to himself as an imbecile, but not a rapist. He continues to say, I've never engaged in non-consensual activity. I pray that you can see that by looking in my eyes. He then continued to say that he felt grateful that he'd have the opportunity to defend himself in court. The BBC has also apologised to a number of employees for the way that complaints were handled when Brand was an employee of theirs. So when he was working for the network or like on the network, there was a number of complaints about SA and just general harassment behaviour, and the BBC have apologised to a number of members of staff regarding how those complaints were handled, which shows that the BBC are, I suppose, supporting the Met in saying, yeah, we think that these allegations could be true. So one of the things he's supposedly, allegedly have done is when he was working at the LA office for the BBC, he flashed his pee-pee to a woman before going on to his radio show and laughing about it. And she wasn't a BBC employee, but she worked in the same building. So they were in the bathrooms. He flashed himself because that's apparently what you do. And then went on to the radio show and made jokes about flashing this random woman, which is just disgusting. It's disgusting. There's also a 16-year-old, or she's not 16 now, she was 16 at the time, that claims when she was 16, she had a relationship with Brand. He was 30, and he used to send a car to pick her up from school and take her to his home and have their 3-4 month long relationship. So she was 16 at the time, he was 30. Now in the UK, that is not illegal. The legal age for consent in the UK is 16, but it's still not all right. I think at the end of the day, like, we don't know much, but I'm not surprised. It was not a surprise for me. I'm sure it wasn't a surprise for a lot of people. You know, there's a number of people out there that it wouldn't, you know, if you saw it, you'd think, okay. And he's one of them, unfortunately. And people might, you know, judge me for saying that, but I don't think this is shocking. I hope that whatever is true comes out, and if it is true that the women get justice, and that, you know, he pays for what he's done. If he's done it, we won't know. I'm assuming he says he wants to, you know, give the opportunity to talk in court. That would assume to me that he's coming home for the trial in May. Yeah, I don't know. So I guess we'll have to see. I'll keep updating. Yeah.